Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars, and let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 2-hour time frame for Bitcoin, because right now we are seeing a potential double bottom forming on this lower time frame. Besides that, I'm also going to talk about the technical analysis of what we should be looking out for over the next 24 hours. And as always, nothing in this video is my personal opinion. I will only be sharing the objective technical analysis. So let's dive right in. First of all, we do have this double bottom here, which typically occurs at the end of an extended downtrend, where after we break the neckline, which is the resistance at the top right here, after we break that, we get a price target to the upside from the low of this W to the high of the W, which in this case would give us a price target at around 109K in the Bitcoin price. Now keep in mind that for this price target to actually become active, we need to see a break above 104.5K. So long as we are not breaking above that level, guys, then this price target is also not actively being targeted. And something else that is absolutely important to take note of as well is actually the volume, as you can see at the bottom right here, because typically we have quite low volume over the weekend, and this is not ideal for a bullish type of breakout. So if you are seeing this resistance break, then also make sure that you are actually seeing increasing amounts of volume down at the bottom here. Besides that, the point of invalidation is simply if we break above and then fail to actually continue further to the upside. So if we break back down below 104.5K after breaking out, then of course that is the invalidation for this W pattern specifically. So with all of that in mind, right now we actually haven't broken out yet. So we're basically still just trading sideways on this 2-hour time frame, which is also my base case expectation for this weekend. But just in case we do end up breaking out, then at least you already know the price target ahead of time. Besides that, on this 12-hour time frame, we are also seeing a bullish divergence confirming here, which is when you have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. Typically, this points towards us getting a break from all of this bearish price action we saw here recently, either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum. There is also something to note here on this 12-hour time frame though, which is that we are simply in a technical downtrend at the moment, making lower lows and lower highs, and therefore you need to be extra cautious with looking at potentially bullish signals or possible reversal signals here, even on the lower time frames, considering that we are still in that technical downtrend. So the bias is actually still bearish here, but there is the possibility of taking advantage of some kind of short-term move to the upside in the case that more bullish signals start confirming. Like I said in the beginning of this video as well, I always just want to point out all the objective factors that are playing a role in the technical analysis and the charts today, and what we should be expecting over the next 24 hours or so. And then based on that, you can make up your own mind. The last thing I would say about this bullish divergence, guys, is that you should be very aware of the technical invalidation of this bullish divergence, which in this case is if we actually get candle closes below the low here, so below about 100.5K, any candle closes below here invalidates this bullish divergence, which completely opens the door to more bearish price action once again. Something to keep an eye on in the case that you see that invalidation happen. Same thing here on this RSI. If we actually start getting candle closes below this ascending trend line, that is also a warning signal, opening up the door to more bearish price action once again. Interestingly though, on this 1-day time frame, we are actually perfectly holding this as a level of support so far. So you can see this big level sitting from 103 all the way down to 101.5K. Currently, we are still holding inside this level here with a couple of wicks down to this next level of support below, sitting from 100K all the way down to 98,000. And in terms of resistance to the upside, that is currently sitting from 105 all the way up to 107K in the Bitcoin price. So while we do have some potentially bullish signals on those lower time frames, on the higher time frames right now, everything is still pointing towards the downside. Now, to be fair, this is also going to be a lagging indicator. Like, of course, whenever we do get some kind of reversal the lower time frames are first going to be confirming that reversal and then the higher time frames if we actually end up getting a high time frame move to the upside as well. But the key thing that I'm looking out for on this higher time frame in terms of an actual trend reversal on the higher time frames, that is currently sitting at about 108.7k. Anything below this, guys, is still technically bearish on the higher time frames, regardless of what is happening on the lower time frames. So now moving on to the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday we actually saw a big net inflow of close to $240 million in a single day of trading. Potentially, we are therefore starting to see a reversal in this trend from the Bitcoin ETF flow tables, flipping more bullish once again. However, this one data point is absolutely not enough. So therefore, we're going to keep checking back in with these Bitcoin ETF data every single day. Now, lastly, moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on this 1 month time frame, notice how right here, most of the liquidity is actually to the upside. So we have massive liquidity sitting around 104.7k, even 105.6k, and the next area of liquidity to the upside is already at 108 and 111k. There is something else that is quite noteworthy though, which is all the way on the 1 year time frame. And that is the fact that we do still have massive liquidity around this 98k level as well as 93k. Therefore, on the higher time frames, we are still targeting these lower areas of liquidity, so long as we are still in this technical downtrend right here. Although on the lower time frames, especially if we do end up breaking out above this area of resistance at 104.5k, then we could start to look for some liquidity to the upside being grabbed. So keep an eye on that price target and this liquidity to the upside that we have right here. So either way, this has been today's market update. Make sure to check out the links in the video description, guys. I have a bunch of trading fee discounts here. So this is 15% cashback on Blowfin, 33% cashback on WEX. But besides that, I also have a free trading course if you want to learn the basics of technical analysis, as well as a free community on Discord. I would highly recommend you guys go check out these links if you're interested. But regardless, if you do end up doing that or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.